Hello there. Welcome to Breakfast All Day. How's it going? I'm Christy. That is Matt. That is Alonso. Next up, we have another Netflix movie for you. This one stars and is directed by George Clooney. It is called The Midnight Sky. Matt.
Midnight Sky is a story about, well, it's based on a book, and it's a story, it starts off being the story about George Clooney living by himself on some Arctic base. He's got a very bushy beard and looks a little bit like Alonso Duralde. He's everybody's evacuating, and it's unclear as to why. And we find out early on that he's taking some kind of transfusions, and he's sticking around because why not? And then we also find out that there is a mission to another planet, or an exoplanet, which is in orbit around Jupiter. And we get some flashbacks to a very young Augustine. What was his last name? His name's Augustine something. Dr. Augustine something.
It's a doozy. It's a great, like, only in the movies kind of name. I'm trying to remember.
Bartholomew or something.
Yeah, something like that.
We'll look it up.
Anyway, and it's a little weird. It's a kind of a weird choice because it's a younger actor with Clooney's voice.
It's Gregory Peck's grandson who plays Spock on the new Discovery.
Yes.
Interesting.
And so we kind of go back and forth to the mission to this other planet, and the people on the mission are played by Felicity Jones and David Oyelowo.
Augustine Lofthouse.
That's good.
Augustine Lofthouse. Yeah, he sounds like he should be hanging with Jeeves and Wooster, right? Oh, Augie.
The Lofthouse conundrum.
Yeah, so we find out that Lofthouse is been by himself, and then a young girl appears who hardly speaks, doesn't speak to him at all. And then they decide they have to go to this other station so that they can tell the spaceship not to come home because some event that it's unclear what happened has happened, and radiation has poisoned everybody in the world. Everyone's dead except seemingly George Clooney and this little girl. And we go back and forth, and it's an adventure, and things happen, and it's it's okay.
This is one of those movies where you're watching it and you start tabulating every other movie that it reminds you of. Like, it feels like this super cut of like The Martian and Moon and The Road and Contact. Gravity and just like, and it's sort of like, I mean, yeah, but I think I'd maybe rather be watching most of those other movies than this one, but it's fine. I'll tell you, coming off of The Monuments Men and Suburbicon, this is the best thing George Clooney has directed in years.
Yeah.
That's faint praise, I know, but
yeah, I mean, the thing is, we talked about Tenet earlier and how chilly it is, and this is as well. And I think that they mistake chilliness and quiet
and depth
for a profound emotional resonance, and it's just not there. Like all the pretty pieces are there, all the stuff on the base looks very crisp, and the spaceship as well, and the stuff that happens in space is thrilling, and it's an incredible and diverse ensemble cast, and everyone is fine in it. But like, they don't get a whole lot to do besides show up and maybe have a single character trait and go beep, boop, 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 and press buttons. And Felicity Jones is pregnant with David Oyelowo's baby. And so they talk about baby names a little bit. But I think the cosmic thing that connects what's happening in space with what's happening on the ground is not all that surprising and not all that cosmic.
Well, yeah, it's the kind of movie that builds to a punchline where you're like, oh, you had to wipe out all of mankind for that? Like, this
for that to matter.
This is the big takeaway. Like, But, I liked looking at it, and you're right, there's a really good cast, and even though they don't have a ton to do, it's nice to see, like, Demián Bichir and Kyle Chandler and, folks like that running around. And so, I like the sort of near futurism of it, to where like certain things are very like the medical equipment that he uses, and even like the prescription bottles look a little bit more modern than us, but otherwise like people are still wearing flannel shirts, and it's a recognizable.
So the future looks good to Alonso because they're still flannel shirts
and long beards. Are you doing George Clooney cosplay today?
I'm cosplaying George Clooney for sure. Yes, that's my look. It's all been leading up to this.
And I will say, I enjoy when Matt. I enjoy when Clooney picks these kinds of roles for himself. Like I love him in Syriana. Yeah. I love when he's not like hot, sexy, glamorous movie star Clooney, because it'd be so easy to spend an entire life, playing dashing roles and exciting, action.
He's got eye bags in this movie.
I like him. I like him a little shaggy, and I like that he has that instinct in him that he wants to do serious, hefty work. But this has, inklings of that, and it has ambitions toward that, but the emotional payoff is just never there.
Yeah, which kind of relates it to a movie we'll talk about next time, probably, The News of the World.
Also Greenland. Greenland's also about a catastrophic event that wipes out Earth, and everyone's got to go to Greenland.
Indeed.
This movie
reminds you of movies that haven't even come out yet.
And this felt a little bit like there's times in this I was like, oh, Clooney's doing what his friend Soderbergh taught him. There's a fair amount of what feels like, almost at times feels a little bit like Solaris, but not as bleak and not as everything sucks at the end, right? Like it's like a lighter version, Solaris for the masses. I will say one of the things I liked the filmmaking style at the very end, but plot-wise, I fucking hate the end. Like the very, very ending. I'm like, they totally shit the bed with this story.
It's just that the thing is just obvious. The thing that is revealed in the ending.
Not that part. Not that part. That part I'm okay with.
All right. Tell us later.
It's the implications of what happens that really bother me.
Okay, well, tell us later.
Okay, well.
So what is your number then? Since you're angry, what's your number, Matt?
What did I say, 7?
You said 7. You're not that angry.
I said 6.6.
It's entertaining.
Yes. Okay. So I'm saying 6.5. Alonso says 6.6. Matt says 7. So 6.7 is our number. The Midnight Sky is out, I think, next week.
The 23rd.
The 23rd on Netflix. So we're talking about it now because there's so much going on. We're going to do a special show next Tuesday of all the Christmas movies rather. So we're doing this now. Anyway, It's out next week.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, listen, thanks for watching, you guys. Like this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Check us out at BeFastAllDay on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And please, won't you visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/BeFastAllDay. Speaking of interstellar adventures, The Mandalorian dropped its season finale this morning. So we'll have plenty to say about that and other cool exclusive stuff for our subscribers. So check that out. Thanks for watching, you guys. We'll see you next time. Bye.